Thanks for watching Outdoors with Og, everybody. You might be asking yourself, why am I driving? Why am I driving and not hunting on the last day of rifle season here in West Virginia? Now, what could make an outdoorsman do such a thing? Well, it's because I'm headed bow hunting at Devil's Backbone Adventure Resort in Mingo County, West Virginia, man. I can't wait to get down here. It's my first time in Mingo County, and we're gonna see what we can get done, baby. Crank, crank, crank.
Rolling down Highway 109. Rolling down Highway 109. Got bad pain in my heart, bad things on my mind. Little girl told me, said you better stay home. Yeah, she warned me, said you better stay home. As soon as I left, she left me all alone. Rolling down Highway 109.
I'm all checked in at Devil's Backbone Adventure Resort. They got me in cabin number 2, home sweet home for the next few days. I'll tell you, spoiled rotten right here. I am spoiled rotten. It's more than this good old boy deserves.
They can run, Lord, but they can't hide. Yeah, they can run.
Spoiled plum rotten, son.
Alcohol in my veins, revolver by my side.
What's up, everybody? You're watching Outdoors with Og. I'm here with Matt Dixon, man. Say hi, Matt.
How you doing?
He's guiding me around. We're in the side-by-side. First day here, headed up in the woods in Mingo County. Devil's Backbone Adventure Resort has opened their arms to me for a few days. Gonna try to make the most of it. What kind of deer are we going after?
Hopefully a 150.
150?
Oh, yeah.
I wouldn't know what to do with myself.
That's what we're going for.
You mean like inches or weight? Because I've hit some 150. Man, thanks so much for watching Outdoors with Og. And that's one thing I've noticed when I was hunting McDowell too, is there's no specific bedding area and no specific feeding area. So trying to put the wind in your favor was really kind of tough because it's just hard to tell which direction they're going to come from.
Right. So I try to put most of my stands on points to where I don't have to worry that much.
So if you're out on a point, you feel like
it's that downwind and it's that pressure that brings
over
it
you
down to the ground. Right. It's pushing it over the hill.
Right, right.
This is not a good picture of him with that 8-point right there.
Oh yeah. Look at that. Look at the crab claw over there on that side. That's nice.
He's got good mass. Huge body.
Does it happen a lot where the bears come in and run them off?
They will, yeah.
Before dark.
And the way it's been going right here with those bears in there a lot, they're pushing them out, then the bear will leave, and the deer's not going far, they're coming in. But
I know. Well, I got a tag for that. I got a fix if they do that on me.
Yeah. And I've had them, they're in one end of the field, the bear are, and the deer's in the other end. So,
really? They don't mind if they're, as long as they're not right up on them?
Right, they're not too awful.
Which stand?
The low gap.
The low gap 9-point. Set up in Mingo County, boys. Sunday evening, I had a blast. I set up, I didn't have a ground blind or anything. I just found this double pine tree, and I set up with my back against that, right on the ground, busted out some shooting lanes, and I really felt good about it, man. Unfortunately, nothing really happened till just after shooting light, definitely after camera light. I came back to this nice, luxurious cabin. My buddy Brian came in that night, and he and his wife Beth are to thank for me getting to do this, man. Thank you guys so much. They came in on Sunday night, and Monday morning, we hit it early, man. We drove over to Matt's house and got into side by sides and went up to the mountain, man. And then I went on up to the spot that I'd hunted the evening before. But that night, the night before, we took a ground blind out and set it up just to help things out a little bit, brushed it in a little bit. What's going on, everybody? Thought I'd do a quick interview. Trying to be quiet. I've had deer filter through. Does. I've had one buck, a young 8-point. Not what I wanted to shoot, but he didn't give me a shot anyway. It was raining, pouring rain, and windy, 16, 17 mile per hour. Got my bow hanging, got the camera ready. Cue the deer. I'm so happy, man. My buddy Adam Bryan, who hooked me up with this trip, him and Bethany, man. Thank you so much. But Adam got a nice 9-point earlier today. Found it already back at the camp. And I'm pumped for it, man. It's a nice deer. You'll see it. I got 2 more days to hunt. If I haven't cashed in by Wednesday, old doe gotta go. You watching Outdoors with O.
I got a problem sometime. It rains.
But while I was up there in my blinds, Adam was in his blinds and he was having all the action.
Sometimes.
We're nice and dry under here. The deer have been periodically moving throughout this rain. I have 3 in here in the beginning. It is pretty heavy. I haven't seen anything for a little while. If it lightens up here and we get some more movement. Sure, it's fun being in the woods in a downpour though, especially when you're dry.
I'm seeing text messages. Matt could see deer on the camera, what they called a big 9-point. And Adam was in the blind and we couldn't figure out why he hadn't shot yet. But come to find out, he was having trouble getting a shot. And having sat in that blind, I see that it was the window was a little high and the chair was a little low, so it was really hard to get over top of that. And Adam was trying to film as well, so he's trying to get that and trying to get the footage for me. Eventually that deer came out, I think 3 times on him. And eventually it came out at the wrong time. Adam put the hammer down on it, got the big 9-point, man, and just added icing on the cake to an awesome trip.
It just so happened that deer died right in a mud hole, so it was filthy, and Adam wanted to wash it off.
Falling in a creek. Perfect.
All right, now I'm good. So now the pressure's on me to try to follow up. I go out to the blind Tuesday morning, and it's nice and cold and crisp, and I hadn't had any action. But then I went ahead and hit the grunt call. It was like 5 minutes till 8. Brr, brr, just real soft, not too hard, and just kind of a tending grunt. I hear steps. And I got all my cameras running, and here he popped up on this little logging road, and I pulled back and waited, and I was tired, and I had to let down because I couldn't see his vitals. I was waiting for him to step out from behind this brush. Finally, he steps out. I pull back 28 yards. I went ahead and zoomed in on my camera. I don't know why, getting greedy, wanted to get that close-up shot. but I zoomed in and almost took him completely off frame. But that's self-filming, man. Sometimes you mess up. But you see the arrow flight go in, whack, and he jumps and does a mule kick and digs off real hard. Good hit, hard hit, but I was worried. Immediately, I was concerned that I didn't get much penetration. So I backed out of there. I went over where I hit him, and I found blood within a few feet. Good sign, decent blood. So I backed out, texted everybody, said, hey, let's wait a few hours. We waited till it was after 10:30, so almost, it was like 2.5 hours that we waited, and we went down and we started finding blood. We started tracking. Then we found my arrow. As you'll see, my arrow, it had about 10 inches covered in blood of that Rage broadhead and that Carbon Express arrow, just covered. So I'm gonna say it probably at least penetrated, 4 to 6 inches.
Oh, look at there.
It got in him. Oh, look, it got in him at least that far. Nice. We got more penetration than I thought.
Oh yeah, you did.
Sweet.
Oh yeah, he's up here somewhere.
Yeah, oh, he's down.
Sure.
And we were finding bubbles in the blood.
Oh yeah,
we
got
got
bubbles. That's a good sign.
We got bubbles in the blood. It's a good sign. So okay, we got at least one lung. Got a lung hit. This deer's gonna die. Oh, we tracked this thing around the side of mountains in Mingo County. I was on hands and knees, man. These is not normal mountains. These ain't hills. It's like West Virginia's the hills. No, this ain't the hills. This is mountains. It's like rock cliffs covered in dirt and leaves. All right, we are on the track. We've come, I don't know, probably 80 yards or more, and he's still spraying good blood. But we are on the side of a hill, a Mingo County nightmare. And I'm gonna do my best to keep up. Do you see any blood, Finley? Where's it at?
Right there.
Right there? Nice.
Good tracking.
Yeah, he jumped back there too. I didn't hit no guts though. We tracked that deer around the around down a hill, up a hill, and when he went uphill, I'm like, man, a good hit deer shouldn't be going uphill, and he was bleeding decent with bubbles. I don't know, why is he going uphill? So he went uphill, got on a little road, crossed the road, a logging road. Then he went down and went straight up a steep hill, like a mountain, a big mountain. And Matt was there with me, thank God. Adam and his little boy Finley was there, and they did a lot. I couldn't believe how well Finley did climbing them mountains. But they stopped there, and Matt went up through there, and I followed him. I had my arrow in my hand. I took my broadhead off, had my arrow in my mouth, and I'm clawing my way up this mountain. It got so steep, I couldn't even be hands and feet. I had to be hands and knees. I was hands and knees clawing up this mountain, trying not to look down. I'm telling you, it was like standing on a ledge. If I had stood up, I wouldn't have made it. Matt, like I said, half deer, he's just walking straight up the mountain, not breathing hard. I don't even think he sweated a drop. I'm drenched and breathing heavy, but I got up that first mountain. We tracked him along the road, ended the blood trail, looked everywhere, gave up again, came back down that little road, found blood. He circled back, he backtracked down that logging road, and we found good blood. He was bleeding good. And when we had been clawing up our hill, he was bleeding profusely. Found blood, he goes straight up another daggone mountain. I was exhausted. Matt went on up in there just to look. He found blood, found where the deer had bedded down at least once, if not twice, with blood in the bed. And from that second bed, we got up, then the blood ran out, and he couldn't find it. And we'd been at it for hours, and this deer had climbed mountains. I don't know, I didn't think they had mountains like this in the East. It's some West Coast rocky stuff, man. That deer was going straight up. I don't understand how he could do it. I mean, that's just testament to how tough they are. But nonetheless, we had to give up, and I was heartbroken. Guys, we've been out here, we've tracked this deer, I don't know how many hundreds of yards. And up hills, up steep. I mean, on my hands and knees crawling hills. Matt, he's a half billy goat. He's going down in here and he's making one last little circle here. But we got to give up. He never laid down. And you ought to see the mountain that he climbed. It is ridiculous. So we're heading back. I guess we got to give up. Unbelievable. Part of the game, I guess. You know, here Adam had a buck. I shot a buck, and I kind of settled, right? I wanted the good footage. I wanted the promotion. I wanted, you know, me and Adam to have deer. So I shot that broke off buck. And it broke off on one side. But he was a nice 8-point. If he had had that side, he would have been a really nice 8. So I wasn't ashamed of the deer at all. The worst part about it was Matt sent trail cam pictures. If I had been in my other blind, big boy walked right by after a doe. I would have stuck him at like 10 yards. What are you going to do, man? But I felt really bad about hitting a deer and wounding one and not recovering it. So I told Matt, I was like, man, I don't really want to go over there now and put an arrow in one of those big deer that we've been trying for, because I just wouldn't feel right. I already feel awful. And I don't want to be up in here wasting or wounding deer. But I'm having the time of my life. If I don't get a deer, I don't get a deer. Ups and downs, roller coaster of life. I've said it before. I haven't lost many deer, but I've had a couple of bad luck situations this year. It's been a rough season. Nothing goes to waste in nature. Everything gets used. So I don't think that deer died. But if he did, it didn't go to waste. There's a family of coyotes that love me. There's raccoons and possums, right down to beetles and microorganisms and worms and everything. I supply a whole ecosystem. I didn't get the deer. I would have loved that. I hate to waste an animal. I hate to wound an animal. But nothing goes to waste. So I have to think that way. I have to think positive. Stay positive, man. I got really down today, you know, and I hated, I felt bad, you know, for the situation. They got me up here to hunt. And it's so nice, and they've been so friendly. So the pressure was on, and I should have waited. I should have been more patient to wait for one of the deer that I was really after. But you live and you learn, man. You live and you learn. So let's hope it goes well tomorrow. Thank you guys so much for watching Outdoors with Og. Crank, crank.
Well, thanks to a little foresight, I still ate good. Fortunately, I keeps my feathers numbered for just such an occasion. I had an amazing time, but this trip belonged to Adam, man. It was his turn. And boy, as bad as I wanted that deer to be mine, it wasn't. It was Adam's. Congratulations, man. Nice buck.
Well, guys, you're watching Outdoors with Og. My Mingo County trip has come to an end. Didn't get my buck. I hit a buck yesterday. Unfortunately, man, couldn't find him. We searched high and low, especially high. We was way up in the mountains. But I've had a great time here, man. Thank you so much for joining me. Devil's Backbone Adventure Resort. Be sure and check them out, man. You will not regret any time spent here. I promise you that. Whether it be for ATVs, they got an RV lot, whatever you're into, primitive camping. But the ATV trails, you can ride right out of here on the Hatfield-McCoy Trail. It's awesome. But man, as far as a hunting camp, this is a hunting camp. Hot showers, I had to get one of those right before I left. So come on down, man. Devil's Backbone Adventure Resort, Matewan, West Virginia, Mingo County. Thank y'all for having me. This old boy had the time of his life. I hate to leave it, man. Oh my gosh. Whew. Bye-bye, little cabin number 2. And that's a wrap.